We are recording. Okay, so today, today, we're gonna continue doing the whole Chii thing. We're gonna continue doing the whole Chii thing. Yeah, so we implemented Chii last time. I think we forgot to do serialization, Marin. I think that is missing.
I vaguely remember that, yes.
Okay, but now we have a problem. How do we gonna test it? Because let's recap a little bit. So we implemented Chii, which lives inside actions now. So now we have a def action called Chii that does all of this, which is fine. Then we also implemented the. There's something about. Oh man, I don't remember. Did we implement it in game? I remember that we did something. We did more stuff than that. Where did we do it? We did deserialization to understand the Chii. That also worked. That also worked. Um, oh yeah, we changed this. So now, if you have a particular something to be sent on the SSC, we check if the message is a list, because if it is, we gonna send it as normal. Otherwise, we're gonna just send it raw. But this is in the error case. Why did we do that? I don't remember. I actually don't recall why we did that, but we did. I think it was something about error reporting. Oh, there we go. It's because we want to inform the user that we have invalid Chii tiles are missing for the Chii. Essentially. Essentially. Okay, but yeah, I do remember we also have to tackle the available actions. So somewhere in here, yeah, we have the Chii here. And what are we doing? We are doing a map over the Chii options. So we have a function called Chii options, which is interesting. Yeah, this function. We have a function over Chii options that. What in the freak are we doing? This indentation is kind of weird. So we are mapping over Chii options. We're grabbing the hand from the player, and to understand this, the whole state, we are calculating the previous player from it, and we are grabbing the discard pile from it and grabbing the first, so that we are passing that to Chii options as well. And I also remember something that we disabled the end of the turn. Yep, we disabled the end of the turn. So, Marin, do you remember why we did that? I don't, as well.
Because you need to be able to draw and discard, and those are two separate actions that you need to do on the same turn.
Oh, but if that's the case, man.
And the draw may not actually be a draw, you may actually do a Kan, or a Chi, or a Pon,
Yeah,
right?
I understand what you're saying, but I don't think we should do that right now, because otherwise we're not gonna be able to test the Chii, right? Because to test the Chii, we need at least two players playing the game.
Um, that is true.
So we should
That is
definitely
very
pass
true.
it. But now we have another problem. How are we gonna know that?
We need, well, the proper way to do it would be to implement an end turn action or something, which actually should be the discard, right?
Okay, so
Only the
discard
disc,
does the end of the turn. That's what you're saying.
yeah, yeah, the discard is the last thing you do on your turn, basically. So it should pass the turn only when you discard.
I have a proposal.
Okay.
What about we actually receive the event, the action here, and then we do a pattern matching on it, and then we have total control of which things you're gonna do depending on which event happened.
That's an option.
That's cool. So let's actually implement that. So yeah, but that's kind of annoying. That's a little bit repetitive in my opinion. It's a little bit repetitive. Can we do put that in a macro? I think we should be able to. Can we put that in a macro?
One moment, I'll be right back.
The answer is yes. We can put it in a macro, but that will... Ah boy, that will mandate us to do things, That will mandate us to actually do fucking things. And I don't know what we should do about that, actually. I actually don't know what we should do about that. Hmm. Hmm. I do have an idea though. I do have an idea. We can we can change the actions so they are expression based. That actually may be a good idea, to be completely honest. So case, and I guess body would go here, and then we would do something like a tuple, a her, and then we're gonna have a payload, for example, and then if that happens, we will, I don't know, just send an error message. Oops, just send an error message, and then the payload goes here. Is that how you do that? I have a feeling that's not how you do that. Case. No, actually, it is how you do that. And then here, we're gonna say tuple, okay, next state, and just loop that over. We just loop that over. Uh-huh. This is not gonna work as I want, but this is close enough. And then it would be something like action name. Yeah, but I kinda need to splice it. I kinda need to splice it. Mario knows how to do that, but this is gonna be my proposal.
Alright, I'm back. What's up?
Okay, so I want to change def action macro to be returning an expression.
Returning an expression.
Yeah, because it kind of
Wait,
works in an assignment manner. right now.
Wait, is it not already returning an expression?
No, it was just a progam on the body. And then we just loop over ourselves using the error function or the loop function. And what I want to do is to change that progam to this. But this is wrong. But you are the list master. You're going to help me how to make it work.
What's the problem of having a program? You can just put whatever you want inside of it.
Sure, but I think this is better. I'm not saying a program is wrong or bad. I'm just saying that I think this is going to be way more convenient. What do you say?
Okay, so you're basically abstracting away the error handling entirely.
Yeah, so like if the def action ends with an OK tuple, that must be the next state because that's all that matters really. We don't care about anything else. And if it's an error of any kind, we just dispatch it to the error function. And we have the nicety of being able to use the action name as the thing to send to loop. But this is wrong, right? I need to do some splicing in here.
You need to unquote the action name, actually.
Do you mean like this?
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, but do you think this is this right? Like, is this case here right?
Let's see, you do a case over the body, whatever it returns, if it's an error, you go to the error case, otherwise you loop. Um, Otherwise you loop. I forget, what does loop do with the first argument again?
Nothing. I'm just introducing the first argument.
Okay.
And this will do pattern matching on it.
Why do we need to introduce that first argument?
Because then, if it's discard, we can do the end turn, like customizable behavior depending on which action is ending.
Can't you just bump the player number in the next state for the discard specifically?
Oh, but then the discard is doing more than just discard.
Well, discarding is the last thing you can do, so it should end your turn, no?
I'm like I like the idea, and maybe this is a bad idea, but I like the idea that the action just handles the action itself, and all the finishing touches happens on a separate place. Like for example, bumping the current player number. If we had to do something else in the future, like I don't know, counting the sticks or whatever the fuck, we all do this in an ending phase, like yeah, in a separate phase, which is loop.
Hmm. Hmm.
And you really sound like a Minecraft NPC, man.
uh, I'm not sure if that's the best idea, but I don't really see an immediate problem with that, and it's very easy to change, so yeah, sure, let's try it out. I guess we can do that.
But yeah, do you think this macros is gonna fly the way that it's currently written?
You need to unquote the... Wait, do you? Yeah, no, you don't actually, because that's not coming from a macro argument. Yeah, no, this should be fine, I think.
Awesome. So now that basically means that we have. Whoa, man, this is actually well, very convenient. The only thing that I'm worried about is this state. It's not coming from anywhere in this macro. But we are kind of assuming it is because of the splicing that is happening here.
It's not coming from anywhere in this macro.
Yeah, we're kind of constructing the state key in the let. So I'm kind of taking that for granted.
Oh, yeah, but that's not guaranteed to be there. I mean, we know there will be a state in the map, but it's not guaranteed that it will actually be an argument of the action, right?
No, it will always be, but we cannot enforce this in like we already having that assumption here anyway. This was already the case. This was already there. So I'm just taking the same assumption for granted. Okay.
I guess if you want to be super safe, you could put the state inside of the let and just get it from the map explicitly, but I don't know. That's just another magic variable that the def action is introducing. I don't particularly like that. Um,
There we go. Expression-based actions.
the
So
tile
like,
count is less than one. Oh, right, okay.
yeah. So now we just need to do the same thing with this action. It's gonna be easy as fuck because we just swap this for a tuple with error, and then this we just literally swap that with a tuple with OK. Um, and if we encounter this other thing, we just do tuple error, and there we have it. This is very convenient in dynamic language to do what I just did. I just changed completely how the DSLR works, and because it's dynamic, I don't have to like have many like a lot of places breaking in the same thing. That's actually pretty convenient. So drawing can never fail, which is cool. So tuple can never draw can never fail. Richie also can never fail apparently, which is kind of weird. Uh, tuple okay, and here we have tuple okay, and there we have it. So now what we're gonna do? We're gonna copy this, but we're gonna make a slightly better version of it in here. We're gonna have loop. So loop. And we're only gonna have two cases, so I only need the function up to here. Um, mm-hmm. Yeah, we're not gonna have this. So here we're gonna have discard, for example, and you're gonna see the next state. And the only two things you gotta do are broadcast this the next state. I think in here I can call this a state without any problems. And we finish by doing closure macro state. Then we do end turn, and then finally we pass that back to the decider. We pass that back to the decider, and then here we have whatever state. And there is a problem. There we go. And it's essentially the same thing, uh, with the difference being broadcast state and decider state. And then we can swap this. And now loop is a true argument function. Marinho, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you think it's like, do you notice that every single pattern matching here we have to end with the decider? Is it worth to abstract
Um,
over that?
is it worth to abstract over that? Mm, I mean, you could,
Yeah, but
or you
I don't
could
want to
bump the
overcomplicate
current.
the things.
Well, you could avoid that if you just bump the current player in the discard action.
Okay, so you rather do the end turn on the specific discard action and just let it like discard is the only special one. We're not gonna have any other special actions.
Uh,
Or
yeah,
rather,
because
if
like,
we have special actions, you rather put them within the action itself.
yeah,
Hmm. Well, I guess that's fine. Like we can do that to not have to abstract over this. I think that's gonna go not great. I think we're gonna put a lot of stuff in actions later because of this principle. Well. Game and turn. There we go. And then now I need to export. Yeah, end turn is already being exported before, which means that loop can also now be free. But I still like this notion that the entire flow of an action is contained within this macro. So like if you want to introduce something before or after for all of the actions, we don't need to change each one individually. We just change in here. I like that.
yeah. Turns out abstracting over things can be nice.
We need to know which things are nice to be abstracted over, right? It is not that easy.
That's why I said it can be.
Well, but you said that immediately after I just said that we abstracted over something.
Oh yes, and abstracting over things can be nice.
Yeah, but that's not what the communication is indicating in there. But okay.
Well,
Uh,
if I wanted to say that it will always be nice, I would have said that, but I'd rather not because that's not true. Sometimes an abstraction can make your life harder
okay, so we have
if
a
it's not
decision
well
to make
chosen.
here. We have a
Okay,
decision
what's
to
the
make.
decision?
I noticed that we are essentially building a list of Chii XML elements in which the tag is going to be Chii, and then probably we're going to have the tile in there. Yeah, this will form a list of tuples in which the first thing of the tuple is the Chii and the second thing is the tile, right? So I wonder what's the best XML format to serialize this thing. You know what I mean?
It just, well, I would say it's an element with a Chi tag and it has a body, which is the tile.
Well, that's not true because we're gonna have potentially more than one tile in there. So I was kind of
Mm,
thinking, I don't know if you
no,
would agree.
actually.
Yeah.
Like, you can do a Chi with one tile, or you can do a Chi with another tile, and, well,
Oh, Chi options may return
actually,
more than one. That's what the only thing I'm saying.
Chi options. Previous player, blah blah blah, discard pile car.
Okay, so this is one way to go about it. Uh, this is one way to go about it. What do you think?
Uh, right, because you always have to say, okay, I'm going to do a Chi, and you need to pick two tiles from your hand to make the. It's a sequence in this case, right?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
we're trying to discuss what is the best way to serialize it, though. This is my first proposal.
I don't see a problem with this. This looks okay.
Okay, but I think this is not great. This because this is creating a list of tuples, which is very inconvenient because on the serialization layer later, I'm going to have to unpack it to repack it properly. I rather pack it properly here.
You'd rather pack it properly here.
Yeah. For example, for freaking example, I
Right, you
think.
actually need to put two tiles in the tuple, right? So that should be
Oh,
inside of a
well,
list.
first of all, let's try to make some uniformization, in my opinion. For example, in the case of Richie, because before we thought, hey, we only actually need to send tags to the front end and they can figure it out. But then during the implementation of Chii, we decided that we're going to actually put the candidates for the move. So that changed the data structure. So I want us, let's try to
Does
make
it?
this uniform. Yeah, because
Does it change the? Does it? Because like a
in
tag is an XML element, basically, if you're going to serialize it as XML, right? Like it has no body, it has no attributes, it's literally just a tag, right?
yeah, but how do you represent that in the XML? That's a tuple with two lists, right? Well, a tuple with the
An
atom
empty
with the
list.
tag and then empty lists. What about doing this in here?
Uh,
Like just preparing the field, because then we can make the serialization more uniform later. Because if we don't do this, we're going to have to actually identify which available action it is to know what is the data. Because in this case it's a list of atoms, and in this case it's a list of tuples. If everything is just a tuple with two lists, we're done. Everything is the same.
uh, I mean, we can do that, I guess. It's not particularly idiomatic, but it will make our lives easier as far as the XML layer goes.
Yeah. So tuple and then list, done. This is the Ricci case, right?
Right.
And then for this, I think we should do. I think we should do something like. Um, we're gonna have a tile in here. We're gonna have a tile. Okay, so what are we gonna do is to just put that in a tuple. So we grab this. This is not gonna be that. We put Chii in here. The attributes of the Chii is none, but the list is this one. Thoughts?
But the list is this one. That doesn't work because you may have more than one candidate sequence to do the Chi with.
Doesn't matter. All of the candidates will be provided by the options, no?
No, 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 no. When you do a Chi, um, oh, right. No, actually, I remember. We were using the first tile as the identifier for the entire sequence, right?
Yeah. I also remember that convention.
Yeah, no, in that case, yeah, this can be a single tuple with a Chi tag, and then we say, okay, these are all the tiles that
Ooh.
can start a sequence that
Okay.
you can make with the tile that has just been discarded, right?
Yep. But we need to check if this is empty though. Because if it is empty, we need to send empty list. So we do it like this, and then we do the same thing in there. If so lists empty, I'm assuming this exists. Options. If it's empty, we just return list. If it's not empty, then we return a list of tuple Chii, this, and then options. What do you think?
Mm,
And now on
yeah,
the
this
XML,
makes sense. You
we
don't
can.
need the extra empty list, by the way,
I don't see. Could you
um,
explain?
because if you have a tuple with two elements, remember, if you only have two elements, the second element is assumed to be the children.
No, 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 no. But we are doing a flat map. This will disappear. That's why these empty lists are here.
I'm talking about the tuple. You have an extra empty list before the options. You don't need that.
Oh, you're talking about if you have empty, the first list is assumed to be content.
Yeah, if you only have one list, that's assumed to be the body of the element.
Cool. That is actually very true. I don't know if this is the best way to do it, but like we have a lambda for each case. Uh, I think it's fine for now. Like not the best, but also not the worst. We need to change the serialization now. So available actions. Convert available actions. So there we have it. We have the actions in here, which is basically a list of tuples. Now, it's a list of tuples. So what are we gonna do about it? What are we gonna do about it? We don't need this then, right? This is it. Isn't it just this? Like with this deleted? Why am I going crazy?
Hmm.
Like, isn't just actions instead of all of this nonsense? Because you already have a list of tuples now. It's just perfect.
For each action, yeah, we actually don't need to label each action as an action because it's already inside of available actions. Yeah, you
Ah,
can just
no,
put.
no, no, that's actually not true. Because we, at this moment, we don't have the tiles serialized, man. Remember?
Hmm.
The tiles are not serialized. We have the tiles like raw tiles in here.
Yeah.
Okay, so this brings up a problem. Either we do it there or we do it in here. Thoughts? Doing it in there is less ideal in my opinion, although it's more consistent, because how can we tell what is the data that is coming from the available action if we don't inspect the action there? And if you're going to inspect the action there, that kills the entire purpose of making this uniform. Did you get it?
I did. But we're kind of mixing concerns here.
Okay, I have a question.
Mm.
Can an action
Yep.
actually specify something different than a bunch of tiles?
Uh,
Like, I don't know the game. You know that I don't know the game. Imagine the game. Imagine an available action. Aren't all of them like related to tiles anyway? Can't we just make
they
that
are.
assumption?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, so if that's the case, I think we should just serialize it in there and assume they are tiles. So if
Mm.
that's the case, this is now a tuple, well, a T, and we need to do something about it. So we need to we need to convert the tile essentially. Yeah, convert tile pretty much. So we can use a very cool function called tmap that we made ourselves. Oops. So tmap. There's a lambda and a tuple.
Mm. Dude.
Sure.
Uh, yeah, we can. Although we don't need the index, right? I think that's the second argument of the mapping function.
We don't need the index.
Yeah, because tmap also tmap actually passes the value that position in the tuple and the index, right?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, we can totally use tmap, I think.
No, no, no. But this is a list of tiles. I'm already tired. This needs to be list map. My bad. And then this is a tuple, and I don't think it's worth using tmap in this case. So we just need
Don't
to
we
do a
have
let.
convert? Don't we have a convert tuple or some a convert tile or something
Yeah, but
already?
the tile is. Wait. No, you're completely right.
Uh,
It is this.
There we go.
So we just swap this for actions, and there we have it.
But that doesn't quite work because the action may contain tiles, but it's not itself a tile.
Ah, this is a tuple with the tiles inside. That's why I wanted to do the other thing. Okay, we need
Yeah.
to go back. Okay, so this is a tuple that contains the... Okay, that actually makes perfect sense. Let's do a let then. So let tuple. This is going to be the action, and this is going to be the tiles. And we're going to put the T in here. Uh, that's alright. I'm missing parentheses here somewhere. Very certain of that.
Yeah, this is not closure.
Yeah. So we do it like this, and then we just return a tuple
But also,
action.
that doesn't quite work because if we ever have an action with attributes, then it's not going to be a two tuple, it's going to be a three tuple, and the tiles will be the third one, not the second.
You mean this?
Yeah, the proper way to do it generically is to get the length of the tuple, get the last element, assume that's a list of tiles, convert that to an XML friendly form, and update the last element of the tuple with the new list.
That's tough. Sure. So let's actually grab the action. Action. This is tref1t. Um, which reminds me that this needs to be like this. And then to do what you said, we need tref something something on t here. So the question is, how can we grab the last? So is there a convenient freaking way to do that? I'm gonna guess on no. Oops. Tref. Tuple functions Erlang. Oh, tuple size exists. Okay, that works. So this is what? This is Erlang tuple size t minus one, right?
No, it's just tuple size t because Erlang is one based for some reason.
That's true. And that is it, right? That is actually
Um,
it.
aren't the arguments backwards though? Doesn't tref take the tuple first?
I have no idea. Oops. Actually, we can check that out. Yes, you're right. And there you have it. Do you think this is gonna work? Not you?
Mm, not quite, because if the action has attributes, you're going to discard them.
Yeah, but we don't have any actions that require attributes.
We don't know if that will always be true.
Actually, I want that to fail because then we're gonna have to make a serialization strategy for the attributes. We don't know what they will be in the future.
Dude, an attribute can only be a string in XML.
No, 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 no. Xml accepts only the string, but we can put anything in there. This is also a list
No,
of
no,
tuples in attributes.
no. XML can only allow you to have string attributes.
You're not getting me. XML accepts for both the contents and the attributes a list of tuples. How you're
Yes.
gonna get the strings in there, it's your business. But we can have anything in there. Right now we have a list of tuples in the context, for example.
No. The attributes and the children are two different things, Lemos. The attributes can only ever be strings.
I don't know if I am not explaining properly or I'm not understanding what you're saying properly. Both of them can only be strings at the end of the day, my friend. Look at the convert tile, for example.
No. The children of an XML element can be other elements. But the attributes of an XML element can only ever be strings.
But that's just not true. Here's the example.
But that's not tuple suit spec blah blah blah.
Suit is
Yeah,
not a
those are.
string. A suit is an atom.
But atoms are considered strings, aren't they?
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Uh,
Like there is some like it could be anything. We just need to serialize. We just have to have the serialization rules like in place. Either they are atoms or strings. I understand that, but that applies for both of them. Look at for example. Let me see if I can find another example. Ah man, that's gonna take some time. I don't have the patience. I don't have the patience. Okay, anyway, let's actually backtrack. So you want to put attributes in here. That's what you're saying.
actually, I want to not disturb the attributes that may be already there. That's the whole point of doing the tuple size.
What is going to be the attributes? Are you going to serialize them in the available actions then?
I mean, if we're already assembling the thing to be XML-like to begin with,
Yeah, but
I
then we're
guess.
mixing things together now. That's exactly what I want to avoid. I would like to keep the serialization only in this place and not in the two places. You see? Especially because we don't know what's going to be in the attributes before we stringify them. Either that, or you're gonna
But
tell me that it's
if we
always gonna
don't
be
know what's
strings in
going,
here.
no. If we don't know what's going to be in the attributes before we stringify them, then this part of the code can't deal with that, can it?
Well, that's not. It depends. Are we gonna make a convention for the attributes as well, like we just did for the content?
No. The attributes are always strings, Lemos.
You're not getting me, man. Today is hard. Let's backtrack. Do you agree that we just made a convention that the contents will always be tiles?
Well, the children in an action can only ever be tiles, yes.
Exactly. Didn't we just establish that?
Yes.
So what did we do? We assume that and we convert to the XML thing in here. And why would we be able to do that? Because we just established that the body will always be tiles. It could be any
Okay.
many other things, but it's our responsibility here to convert it to the proper format. Agree?
Yes.
What I'm proposing is to apply the same treatment for the attributes.
But that's pointless because an attribute is always a string.
No, it only needs to be a string at the end of it.
No. XML semantics. You can only have strings in attributes.
Man, how do I explain this differently? Do you agree that we have some piece of data here and we convert it to the proper format of data here?
Yes.
Why can't we just do the same for attributes?
Because it would be an identity function.
Not necessarily. Who said that the attributes coming from here will always be strings? Who said
If you're
that?
going to if you're going to assemble something XML like here to begin with, then they should be a string here as well.
No, but this is only partial XML. The only thing that is resembling XML is the tuple. XML, no, XML. This is we are just making this tuple here because XML needs it. We're not doing it because we feel it's cool or the best. We're just doing it because of the library.
No, no, we're doing it because, well, in part because of the library, yes, that's how it shows to encode an XML structure as Erlang data, right?
Exactly. If that was not the case, if the library has had a different API, a different interface, we would be doing not a tuple here necessarily. This is only because of the library. So I agree to some extent with you that is partially covering the XML serialization. But the real place where we are doing that is in here. This is the real deal. That's what I'm trying to convey here. And what you're saying is, we don't have to do that for attributes because attributes will always be strings. That implies that we're going to put strings here. And that may be
Isn't that
limiting.
the... But if you're going to make this top level tuple be XML-like, then logically the attributes should already be XML-like here, so they should be strings here.
Well, following your logic, we should move this to there.
Well, that would be the logical conclusion, yes.
But do you prefer that? Because I rather keep this in here.
If you're keeping that there, then why not just do the whole conversion here as well?
Well, we can't do the conversion here, aside from assuming that the attributes will already be strings, because we don't know what the attributes will be. We haven't made that convention yet. We just made for the body, for the children, now they are tiles. Forever they will be tiles. Awesome. I'm happy with that. But I don't know about the attributes. Do you know any do you have any idea what which attributes could we have in here?
Hmm.
Actually, an even more important question. Do you think we're going to have different attribute types until we reach the string?
Hmm. You know, as far as game actions go, like other than which action you're doing, like whether you're discarding or calling a Richie or doing a Chii or whatever, and maybe picking a tile, right? Because some actions depend on which tiles you have and you have to choose, right? Like Chii.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly struggle to come up with a use for attributes in this case, given our current encoding.
Exactly. That's why I wanted to not do the attributes now and let it blow up when we eventually come to a use case for it. If we ever come up with a use case for that, it's good that's gonna blow up in here.
Uh,
Well, not blow up, but we're gonna have insufficient information, right? We're not gonna have the attributes. They're gonna be completely discarded because of this logic here.
well, I guess Erlang's stack traces are pretty decent, so
Well, they aren't,
yeah.
and they piss me off. But
No, you only think that because you're not used. You avoid having to deal with Java stack traces. Those are terrible.
it's not because one is worse that makes the other one good. That's a fallacy.
I didn't say it was good, I said it was decent.
But that's also false. How many times we struggled to identify an error because the stack trace was garbage? And even a better question, how many more times we're gonna have to suffer for you to be convinced?
Mm, those are good questions, Vamos.
Yeah, no, it's completely and utterly fucked. But well, not everything is perfect. So not even the beam. Uh, okay, going back to okay, let's close this tangent. Fuck the attributes. Let's just go. Okay, so
Okay.
my question now is, what do we need to change in the initial game for us to be able to test the Chii?
The second player needs to have a partial sequence in hand.
Yeah, but does that
And the
mean
first
that we
player
can
needs to
have
have the
seven
missing
pairs?
tile. Yeah, we can have seven. Yeah, we can have seven pairs, and then the
But
first player needs to have one tile of one of those seven pairs. That would be the easiest thing to do. That's probably too strict, but
no,
it
no,
should
no, no,
work.
no. But the second player plays after the first player. right?
The second player needs to have 7 pairs. The first player needs to have a tile that matches one of those pairs,
Yeah,
so that when
what are the
that tile is
chances of that
discarded,
happening?
well, to have 7 pairs specifically, and
No, 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 no. The
that's
seven pairs
unlikely.
we have control. Putting the seven pairs into into the second player's hand, we have control over that. That's fine. I'm
Well, we
asking
can
about
just
the first player discarding.
we can just control the hand of the first player so that we can just give it whatever tiles we want. And since we're going to choose the first player's action, we can just discard whatever is convenient, right?
Yeah, but what
So
are the
we pick up.
chances that we always gonna have a convenient piece for the seven pairs?
Dude, aren't we just talking about how we're gonna change things to make the testing easier?
Well, I also don't want to suffer changing the player's hands, but that's fine. So call, T-map, Lambda, and what the fuck? This map index, what is the...
Just make all the players have 7 pairs, the same 7 pairs. That solves the problem, no?
That's the best, man. Just make the fucking players have seven. All the fucking players have seven pairs. You dumb. I don't remember. F is the... What is F and what is L? Oh, L is the list. The index comes second. Okay. So we have the player and we have the index, and we're gonna change this with call update in player hand, right? So hand, and then we're gonna call seven pairs. So where are we saving those things? SSC, Yaku. Do you remember where the heck are we saving the seven pairs? Is it in here? No.
Where are we saving the 7 pairs?
I
Let's.
think I remember you pushing something like that. Like hands or whatever. I don't have that file though.
You don't.
I don't have hands in here. Do you have hands in there?
Well, I have 2 of them. They are at the ends of my arms.
Do you have it in there? Oh yeah. Oh the fucking yeah. There's something wrong. Where are the seven tiles? Seven
Yeah, I have
pairs.
a hands file.
Oh, it's probably not tracked and then you didn't commit them.
Okay, I can just track. I can just fix that. One moment.
No, 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 but then I'm gonna have to... Well, sure, just go for it. I can stash and pull.
You don't even need to stash actually, because this is a new file. There.
Okay, so git pull origin open hand. There we go. So now
Problem solved.
I do have hands. I have actually now I have three hands. I have this one and there were two ones at the end of my arms. Hands, seven pairs. This is it, right? I think
Mhm.
seven pairs. Yeah. Let's just confirm that. Yeah. Okay, let's actually try. Let's actually try to see what the fuck is gonna happen. So, cd server 3x3 LFE repo. How bad it is. Bad application form. That's not good. That's not good at all. What is wrong? What is wrong? Um, I don't get it. Tmap receives a function and a tuple. Do you know what is wrong?
Um. Update in player hand 7 pairs.
Yeah, but it's saying bad application form on 73. 73 is this function.
Oh, the quote is in the wrong place. It needs to be before the parentheses.
Makes total sense. Okay, now we go to the macro. This clause cannot match because of different type sizes. 116. Ooh, ooh. Wait, what? I'm actually very confused. What do you mean?
Hmm.
This clause cannot match because of different types slash sizes. Actions one. And you were saying that the stack traces are decent, right? You were the one.
That that's not a stack trace though.
I agree, but it's just as bad. Hey, what are we doing here that is wrong?
That's the question I'm asking myself right now, Lemos.
Like I'm doing this. What? What is this message supposed to mean? This clause cannot match because of different types slash sizes. So it's talking about the macro indirectly, right?
It might be, yeah.
But
Oh,
different
I think I know
types.
why. It's because you're doing an unquote splicing in the body, which is treating it as a sequence of clauses. That's not what you want.
Do I just do this then?
That does that work? No, it doesn't. You need to do keep the splicing, but put a prog n around the body.
Terrible. Just horrendous. No, they didn't fix it at all.
Hmm.
I'm so confused. What are we smoking here? What are we smoking, boys? And why is only failing on the one down there, you know?
Hmm.
Like this card works, Chii works, which is impressive by itself, but draw doesn't. What? Yeah, draw doesn't. I don't understand. It's okay, right? Okay. Yeah, next state. What the fuck?
Hmm.
And it must be because of the macro somehow. Save projectiles. Okay, there was one buffer unsaved, but I didn't change anything. This clause cannot match because of different types sizes. Which tuple cannot match because of that? Which one? Did I? Nope. Loop is still a one function, and it still receives the state and does whatever he wants with it. Man, what the heck? Why and how? Do you think we need to put commas in here by any chance?
Commas.
Yeah, because this is a macro, right? So these names, like this payload, is not really like getting the name out of it. This is just like a bunch of tokens. I don't know if that matters. Maybe I just said stupid stuff, but I don't know.
You're not splicing anything into this code template, right? That payload is meant to be the literal symbol payload because you're establishing a binding that you're going to use afterwards, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, in that case, this looks okay actually.
Yeah,
As
but
far
why?
as
Yeah, but why does it say? Man, this is
it
so
moved,
weird.
it moved.
Oh, it moved because I removed two new lines. It's this one. It's still this one.
Okay.
Yeah, this is closing that. This is closing that. Yeah, this was working before, right?
Yeah.
So we are just returning this tuple, and for some random reason this tuple is not enough. I wonder how.
That's just a warning though. It's not actually preventing. Well, it is actually preventing the repo from going up.
Yeah, it is preventing the repo from going up. That's not what I wanted.
Hmm.
Yeah, but how? Like, how exactly? Particularly when a pattern matching in case with or function clauses. This warning indicates that a specific pattern or clause will never successfully match the incoming data due to a mismatch in the expected data type or structure.
Maybe this thing is smart enough to realize that you'll never hit the error case, but it's not smart enough to realize that actually you should keep that anyways because this is part of a macro expansion.
Wait a moment, are you telling me that there's no way, there's no way what you said is the case, man. There's no
I'm
fucking
just
way.
speculating.
There's no fucking way.
Okay, I found the problem. And it was not what I thought it was. And this is terrible.
Oh, in your code, I thought you were talking to me.
Yeah.
I have another idea. What happens if I swap it? No. It's still smart enough. Man, how? What do we do, man? What what are we gonna do? Like there are a
Uh,
couple of cases that we cannot fail. So the pattern matching should be okay with it.
are those cases after this function?
Mm, yes.
Then reorder them.
Do you mean reorder the tuple matches?
No, no, no. Reorder the function definitions.
What do you mean? Why does that matter?
I want to see if the error moves to the other ones if you do that.
Ah, I mean, that's fair. Man, that would be fucking weird. No, it's still talking about the draw.
Hmm.
Okay, so you're telling me
No, 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 no. Put that draw at the end of the file.
it was already close to the end of the file, but I will do that. It was the second to last one. No, man. Okay, so let me see if I understand. The beam is capable of understanding that
Not the
the.
bin, the LFE compiler.
Oh, you think that will not happen in Erlang?
Um, Actually, that's a good question. It might. And in
The
that case,
AI,
it
the
could be the
AI is saying
bin
that it
analyzing
could.
the bytecode. Hmm.
I'm not saying the AI is telling the truth, but I am saying that it seems to be the case. Yeah, okay, so Elixir also has this problem. People solved it in Elixir, apparently. Okay, but let's see if I understand the problem. You're telling me that the beam is capable of understanding that regardless of what the fuck happens in here, the it will always it's detecting that we always terminate with a tuple on an OK, and then when swapping the tokens inside the macro, it's detecting that this is impossible to be reached.
Basically. Basically, yeah.
I'm so sad right now.
Man, what is wrong with these people?
Which ones? The ones that work or these ones?
At work. Like the one case where the right thing is to return a nil and they don't.
And that's usually never the case. Man, this is fucking. Okay, I have no idea what the fuck we're gonna do about it. Yeah, Magita is almost here. Okay, do you have any suggestions? So we just get rid of the case. What do you suggest?
Uh
What if we swap it for an if?
what, like an if true or something?
Yeah. So like we make the error case. No, but that's not gonna work because we have the payload there.
It will if you use an if true and the true is abstracted away behind another function call.
No, but that sounds not worth it at all. I'm almost getting rid of the case. Do you have any other suggestions aside from getting rid of the case?
Mm, First of all, let's do a sanity check. Let's see if you. The tricky bit is I'm not sure how smart the compiler is. Okay, first thing, let's try to do an if true, you do what you're doing, otherwise you return an error, a tuple with an error tag. Let's try that first and see if it still complains.
You're talking about if true down here.
Yeah,
Okay. So if I don't know, true.
you
That's
may need
not
to
what I want.
quote the true.
Yeah. And then tuple error
Unreachable or
unreachable.
whatever.
No. No.
Okay, now do the thing I said. Define a function that just returns true and call that function instead of having the true in
Can't
line.
we just do this? Nah, fuck me.
It just needs to be the double equals, yeah. No,
Okay.
because equals is a primitive. You need to put some kind of you need to put something that's opaque there to the compiler. And a function call
Something
use
that
has
is
the
opaque.
yeah, and a function call has the highest chance of being that because since Erlang does dynamic linking, in general, you don't
Man,
know
our hack.
what a function
Okay.
will be.
Man, this is the ghettoest thing ever. The-
Yeah, it's precisely that. The compiler is just smart enough to do the annoying thing.
Okay, we need to bake this inside the macro, no? Because otherwise we're gonna have to put this in some different places.
Mm,
Um, Do we have an
You
identity
could try.
function in Erlang?
I mean,
Function. Because I think we can like do the hack in a less terrible looking way by just adding identity to this. So then it won't be able to tell.
you would have to put the identity around the prog in.
Yes, that's exactly what I suggested.
Yeah, we can try that.
Yeah, but do we have an identity function in Erlang?
Try checking if CLJ colon identity is a thing.
CL.
Identity.
I found only identical. No. Mm-mm. Man, that's kind of hilarious. Okay, there's no identity. I'm so sad right now. Really? Really? And there's no identity inside. Um, what would be a module that Erlang functions? Like prelude? What usually we call inside Erlang? Like the ones that are like very, very built-in. Data structures, code, functions. Is there, isn't there like identity? I don't know what to say.
You can try
Actually,
searching for ID as well.
sure. Okay, but let's look here. Beamlib. No, none of those. Okay, what on the left here looks to you like something that could help us? No. What the fuck is a T function? Okay, that's kind of weird.
Oh, that's in the tar module. That makes sense actually. In a very weird way.
Okay, we have Ano, evolve, expand records, features, ID trans. No. It's not gonna be in evolve, right? Yeah, no. Lint, parse, scan, array, that's dict, binary list, maps, process, shell, strings. They have all of these and they don't have an identity. Unfreaking believable. Unfreaking believable. Global. A lock ID used to set to delete lock resource ID. I'm gonna have to create our own identity function because these folks are smoking something. Really? There is no identity function. It is just that. Type variables can be used in specification to specify relations for the input and output arguments of a function. For example, the following specification defines type of a polymorphic identity function. Man, are we like... Wait, it is a secret function. What are you?
Oh, I mean, I
You
figured because.
Yeah, but you saw that I did a grep in there. You saw, right?
Yeah, it's not documented, but it's there.
Jesus. Okay, so we just put an identity here. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, undo the hack and let's go.
It worked. Man,
Oh, you already did that. Okay.
man, with the compilers is too smart. Oh, but we didn't remove the hack. Okay, that's
Yeah,
not yet a victory.
yeah, remove the hack, keep the identity call, and see if that works. Don't forget to remove the our hack definition, otherwise, yeah, it's unused.
I forgot. Jesus
There you
fucking
go.
Christ. Okay.
That's a
People will look at this and ask like, what are we smoking?
and then they're gonna be like, "Oh, just remove the identity. It's pointless." And then it's gonna break stuff, and they'll be like, "WTF, right?"
The use case that everybody asks, why do you need the identity function? And the answer, too tricky or it's too smart of a compiler. Okay, that's cool. That's actually pretty cool and hilarious as well. Okay, so what are we gonna do? We're gonna do prepare the room. Boom, boom, boom. Now we need to start the party and something fucked. Yep, something is fucked. Erlang, element, bedark, where? Inside the game, line 34. 34. Here. What?
Get in,
Flat.
flat map.
Flat map. Inside the get in. So somewhere in here we're doing a get in. I don't see where. Oh, here. But what's the previous? Yeah, the previous players here. The order doesn't matter, right?
The previous player.
Wait, there's a 0 in here. This is because of one base shit, I think.
Yeah, there shouldn't be a zero.
Yeah, but oh, I think this is wrong.
Okay, how?
Um, repo time. Previous player one. The of course one. Still fucked. What am I? Am I dreaming? This is how you call it, right? How is it saying
Hmm.
undefined function? Am I typing? No, this is how you do that. Save. What am I doing wrong? Marinho,
Hmm.
do you see a way that this is wrong? Previous play is being exported in here. It's already being saved.
Try restarting the repo again. If it doesn't
Uh,
work, then
fuck the build. This is like another time. Well, we touched the macros, right? We touch macros, so every time you touch macros, you should delete things. It doesn't make sense to me why that's the case, but it is. Oh, actually, actually, a lot of things are broken now that I deleted the build.
Yaku is broken now.
67 on Yaku. What the fuck is going on? We didn't touch that, so that's kind of weird. 67. Ah, I know what. No, no. I do know what happened there. So because I didn't delete the build, we were using the macro from the times where the Yaku had its own inlet. Remember?
Yeah.
And now that it doesn't, this is failing.
Hmm.
So the question is why this is failing. I think we encountered this problem before. I think this was the reason that we decided to actually have a double inlets because the macros are kind of whatever.
Uh, can't we there is a way to import macros, right?
Oh, there was, but we kind of nuked macros a long time ago. There was a way though. There was a way.
Isn't there like an import macro or something that we can pass to the module, the def module form?
Export macro. Yeah, my life. The life of a user of macros. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Uh, Let me think. Okay, so we need to find examples of macros, man. So def macro. Where are we using it? Where are we using it? How are we exporting the macro? Export macro. Let me search for that. Export macro. Yep, that's how they do it for closure. They just do export macro in parentheses and then the list of the names. And then you have a bunch of def macros.
Hmm.
I don't see. Yeah, they are doing exactly like we're doing. So I have no understanding at all. Does the order matter, maybe? That wouldn't make any sense, but yeah. Such bullshit. So now what? Oops. Ah. Oh, everything in the closure module is macros. Is a macro. Everything, everything.
Hmm.
I don't understand. I'm quite man. I have a very hard time understanding why this is so bad. I have a very hard understanding on why. Yeah, no, that's not what we're looking for. They have very few examples of export macros. But the closure ones, they do work. Why ours don't? Maybe if you have a macro in a module, it can't have functions?
That would be kind of silly.
Well, but in the case of closure, there are no functions. There are only macros. Like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like, because the error is basically saying that, right? So Yaku 67, symbol recurs unbound, bad application form. This doesn't make any sense to be wrong, looking at it, right? We know this code works, because if the macro was here, it would be fine. Agree?
Yeah.
So that's what I don't understand. That's what I don't understand at all.
CLJ comp is not a macro, Lemos.
Where is that? I'm talking about the closure module, by the way.
You mean this thing?
Which thing?
I just posted it in the chat.
No, this is a macro because it's the
No,
def.
it's
It's a
a,
def n, and def n is a macro.
no. But comp is not a macro, and it's being defined and exported here together with macros.
Where is it being exported?
Defn exports things implicitly.
Def n exports things implicitly.
Yeah, look at the
Wait, what?
yeah, look at the def macro defn up there.
Wait, but can we do that? Can we just go here and say closure def n?
No, because defn defines functions, not macros.
Ah, that's true. Disappointed.
Come back anytime.
Hey, what are we gonna do? Uh, what I was doing? Oh, I was searching for closure. Okay, closure. Oh, okay. There is a solution. Thank God there is a solution. Okay,
Okay.
so apparently this was already a thing, and I didn't know. And I think we should do this everywhere because I hate namespacing the closure. We can do things like this, and this actually allows us to have the macros without having to namespace them.
I think you have to remove the def module from the prelude though.
I don't think that's.
I'm pretty sure you do.
Wait, wait a freaking second. Where is the include? Yeah, closure. Yes. You are you are right, sir. Actually. Man, then that sucks. Like that's terrible. That's that's so bad. That's outrageously bad. I have a question. Can we mix those things? Do you think so? Like can we treat a file all like both things? Like, can I extract this from here? put it in here and then remove this, and this just works.
No, because when you include this thing, you're still adding a second def module to something that's already a module. That's the problem.
Let's see what happens. Okay. Question, can we have functions outside of modules?
On the Bing, I don't think that's possible.
Hello, Magetta.
Hello. And hello.
Welcome to the mystery of the week.
Welcome to the
Ooh,
jungle. We got fun and games.
welcome to the jungle. Okay, so let's explain the problem. We were trying to test, like we did some changes on the Chii and stuff like that, and then we are trying to test something, and we are having a very strange bug. So I decided to delete the build hidden folder from the beam, because usually when you touch macros, and we did, this happens, and like unintelligible errors. And then when we did, we actually got a new problem, which is that this thing, this macro here, this nlet macro, even though it makes, like we thought it was working before, apparently it was not. So now the Yaku module can't find the nlet macro. So then everything is fucked. So now we're trying to discover how do we do this, because the other solution that we came up the other day was to just have repeated the macro, right? So we have an nlet for this module as well, and we not don't call the macro from the prelude. That's a little dumb.
I mean, there has to be a way to make it work, right? It works for the closure and common Lisp compatibility
Yeah, but the
modules.
closure only exports macros. Our
No, it exports functions as well.
I couldn't find it. You mentioned that the defn is doing
Comp
it.
is
I
a
don't find it.
comp comp is a function. Try calling clj comp from the REPL.
But comp is being used as with a defn, which is a macro.
No, defn is a macro, but it defines a function.
Ah, I think you're right, actually. Wait a moment. What happens if we just don't export the functions and just export the macro?
Then the code is going to break for a different reason, at least. But it may still break for the same reason, apparently. Okay.
Fucking build folder. Oh, we also have to tell Magetta about the discovery today. Magetta, pay attention, please.
What's the discovery?
Okay, so we made a change. Okay, let's see. Yeah, same shit. We made a change, man, that caused an error that was very unexpected. So we were touching the actions here, the def action macro, and I was kind of like, I wanted to have a more like a simpler thing, like a closer to a DSLL for the actions. And then I came up with a suggestion that we make the actions return tuples. If you have an OK, you return the next state of the game, and if you have an error, you put some sort of error message.
Mm-hmm.
And then, in order to have the control flow unified in a single place, we added the tuple with the OK and the error in the macro. So when you execute the body, you expect an expression, and then we pattern match the expression, and then we handle, we have functions dedicated to like broadcasting errors and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And then we came up with a problem with this guy, draw. Draw can't fail ever. And then the compiler was smart enough to tell us that there was a branch in a pattern match that was useless. And that branch is the error branch, because it can like the compiler noticed that this function, because this macro will spawn a function, this
Mm-hmm.
function has a pattern match with a branch that is never going to fulfill because this is always a tuple with OK. So the tuple with an error would never be able to go there. So in order
Okay.
to trick it, look at what we did. Look at it.
Oh, so you just delay basically
No,
the.
we make it opaque. Like we are purposely making the compiler dumber.
Oh, you're just wrapping it on another function, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, but for example, let's say
That's.
that I remove this identity. Then the error will say,
Mhm.
hey, this branch, well, it's not going to point to this branch because
Does not
that's,
match with what is on the keys, right?
yeah,
Or
yeah, but
whatever.
it would not point to this line because, I don't know, the error messages in the beam, you know what I mean. So, but it
Yeah.
would complain that there would be a branch that would be impossible to reach. And then we like Marinho had the awesome idea of like, okay, what if we make a function? Like, what if you wrap this into an if that is always true, but it is
And
behind a
that's
function to make it opaque?
that's the kind of thing I think you should comment because I
Yeah, that's
doubt
exactly what you said.
I doubt that from a week from now we're gonna know, right? That was the case.
Yeah, sure. So this is like we are purposely making it opaque because the Beam compiler is just too smart. There we go. And then when we research it, apparently the Erlang and Elixir suffer from the same problem. Well, not a problem. This is actually pretty useful because this means that the compiler was able to expand the macro, put the pieces in place, and still do the exhaustiveness check. That's great. The problem is that in order to make what I wanted happen, I had to, well, either disable the warning to make it
Hmm.
go to the REPL, or Marinho's idea of like, man, can't we just make it opaque then?
Well,
Okay, so
hmm.
Marinho, more ideas. Do you have any more ideas? I'm getting out of, I'm out of ideas.
What is the issue now? I didn't follow.
Okay, so the
You
issue is
described what happened later,
we
but.
deleted the build folder, so there is a folder called underscore
Mhm.
build. And
Yes.
usually this folder is problematic anytime you have to change macros. So back in the day, we changed a macro and I was like rebuilding and having nonsensical errors. And I don't know why, but I had the idea of deleting this folder and then I discovered that for some random reason the compiled bin files when we're talking about macros, they don't get updated properly if you change the macros. So we were
Could
using
probably
like,
report that on the rebar LFE.
yeah,
But you probably, if you run LF, rebar 3 LFA clean, it probably should do the same.
we can try. LFA clean.
Let me
Yeah,
see.
it deleted a bunch
Oh,
of the
yeah.
build things.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so okay, so let's try this again. Yeah. Okay, so what's the problem? The problem is we have a macro in the prelude called the nlet.
Hmm.
Nlet is a macro that's being used by the Yaku because we have this recursive loop here. However, for some random reason that we can't tell, LFA is mad about it. So it's like saying recur is unbound, bad application form. The recur that is mentioned is this one. But this is part of the
Hmm.
macro. And
Yeah.
here's the catch. If I copy paste the macro from here to there, then it works.
So it's not getting by the module, essentially, right?
Yeah, but then you look at, for example, the closure module, which is essentially just a bunch of macros in a single function,
No,
and
no,
it
there's more
works.
functions. It's just that comp is the first one.
Exactly. And then there's a bunch of macros in there, and closure works. Why it doesn't work for us, I have no idea. So that's what we are stuck now. And then I had the idea as well of, okay, what if we just export the macro? Because that's what closure does. It does a def module and then something something and then export macro. That's the thing that it uses, export macro. But that didn't work. So it's not because of the we are also exporting functions. We're also exporting freaking functions. It's not also the order, right, Marinho? Because the prelude is the first thing that we put in the list here.
It is the first thing, yes.
So now what? What do we do? What do we freaking do?
Um, what about to make aliases for those functions?
Aliases. What do you
Like
mean?
just import and try to define that again. Does that work? Or is it just on the body of the... Well, because it does get inlet, right? It just doesn't get the words inside of inlet. Is that correct?
Well, that is true. It's not complaining about the inlet, it's complaining about things inside the macro. Like
Yeah,
per
it's basically trying to treat the macro as if it was a function, so it's trying to evaluate things that the macro is supposed to bind, which obviously doesn't work, right?
yeah, that's exactly the
What
problem.
are you trying? Oh, you're trying to respond to REPL. Try compiling before Lemus, like rebar 3 LFE compile.
No.
Same stuff.
It's treating things like functions and it's not treating it as a macro. And I don't understand why. Let me demonstrate you. I'm gonna pick the prelude. I'm gonna pick this macro. I'm gonna go to Yaku and I'm gonna literally paste it and I'm gonna literally
Yeah.
remove the mention of the prelude.
Hmm.
Not that prelude. Uh, Boom, and there's another inlet here. So now if I do that, okay, it now in another module is fucked. But you see, it fixed it. It fixed
Yeah,
itself.
that's very strange. Can you roll back and then go all the way up on this file?
Oh, and something should take notice. I just removed it and I saved it, right? Look what happens. Oh, now it actually fixed itself. I thought it would still report the next one. Anyway, go. There we go. What do you want to see?
Don't we have an import clause there too? I think
No,
we had
for
the one
macros
that
we
was
don't.
redundant.
Yeah, but for macros we don't have imports.
Oh, funny.
For macros
Actually,
there
we
is no.
don't do imports for functions either. We only use imports if we want to add an alias for something, right?
Yes, that's what I meant.
Yep, yep, yep.
But I don't think that would work either.
Yeah, so this is a very stupid problem. I have no idea. Like, man, the fact that like we have a list of stupidity here. Like, I love the beam, but come on, we can only have one module alias per module. For
I think
examples.
that's actually. I think that's actually. I mean, not this particular thing you just highlighted, but the problem we're getting is probably with rebar, right? That's the build system. It's not
You think so?
expanding the code properly. Yes, because it's the thing that expands the. Well, it is either that or the LFE compiler, right? That it's expanding. It's not really the beam.
Well, that's fair enough. But anyway, you can't have more than one module alias per module. So for example, let's say that I want another module, I don't know, prelude, and I want to rename it. We couldn't make that happen, believe me, we tried. This thing about the macros, it's also very stupid. Um,
And the
and
compiler is too smart.
no, but that's on us. That's not on them. That's on us. Uh, yeah, but I don't understand how they have like all of this nice stuff. We have scheme macros and common Lisp things and closure things, all of this nice stuff, but we can't have two module aliases. Come on, man. What are we doing here? Export macro.
And at this point, just put the things on the same file and move on, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to test the Chii. That's more important. So let's just grab this and put into the Yaku. So prelude. There we go. So let's paste the macro there. Let's swap it in here. And then collections is also, yeah, that's not what I want to do. And then we just boom. There we go. Okay, so what we were doing? Oh yeah, we were cue this. We are preparing the room, and then we are trying to start. It failed, and it failed with the same problem, Marinho. Hey, I actually don't remember. Did we actually try to fix the problem?
No, we got caught up with the macro silliness.
Oh yeah, I was trying to call game previous something, right? There we go. Oh, that's the
Oh
problem.
yeah. Oh, I think I know what's going
This is
on.
exactly the
The
problem.
Oh, yeah, no, I think I know what's going on.
Previous. There we go.
Previous. Let's see. Wait, no, this shouldn't.
Well, let's try with 1. So 1, 2 minus 1 is 1. RAM 4 of RAM 1 4.
No, 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 it's one minus two actually, because
Oh, this is a thread first, sorry.
this
1
is a
minus
thread
2,
first.
so this is a minus 1. And then RAM of minus 1 on 4, it's minus 1.
That's wrong. That's not what mod should return in this case, actually.
And then the minus 1 plus 1 is 0.
Yeah, that's wrong. Minus module of minus one by four should be three actually, not minus one. Is this remainder based on? I hope it's not. Is there a mod function somewhere in LFE? There isn't.
Uh, well, probably. Wait a moment. No, no.
Oh, isn't it like a mod as in like the mathematical mod?
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe it's just well, there's Erlang, right? Just put Erlang and then the
Uh,
percentage.
where did we discover that RAM exists? I'm actually kind of. Oh, there we go. That's how we discovered. Okay.
Look at Markdown.
Remove. Okay, so mod, right? Basic macros. How is mod called in Erlang? Just mod?
I'm not sure actually. Could
I
be
think it's
called
actually
modulo.
percentage.
Módulo.
Uh, don't know that.
No?
Yeah, modulo by zero is never gonna work.
Try percentage.
Percentage.
I don't think that's an operator name in LFE.
No, I mean Erlang colon percentage.
No? Okay, so it's time. So operators, Erlang. Yay. Wait. Remainder of integer division. That's what RAM does.
Erlang
Oh, AI is not telling me.
Erlang
Bad,
module.
bad, bad.
Module index.
Uh,
RAM function Erlang.
I just want the
RAM.
module.
Yeah, no.
Man,
It's
what the
annoying.
heck? Like I'm trying to just find the module index. It should be here, but man,
Guys, it's
why
not
did
in
they
it's
change
not
their
in this
website?
table. Yeah, but it's not in this
Yes.
table. This is what are we doing?
Man, there was a page where you could just click, right, and then find the function. But
I
yeah, I don't think they have that.
They
Man,
don't have
what the heck?
modulo. What the fuck?
Erlang mod function.
I wish more languages had proper Euclidean division because this wouldn't happen if that was the case.
There's no built-in mod keyword.
Wait, can't we
Ether
just make
bugs
one? We have
those.
integer division. Can't we just make one?
I
Oh, wait,
mean,
wait,
we
wait, wait. There is math.
Ah, math Erlang.
Search for that. Yes.
What a what a discovery. So floor log pi. That
Tall.
that doesn't
No.
that's not promising.
Wait, there's F. I saw F mod returns a floating point. No.
No, this is all like trigonometric things. Those are not these are not what we're looking for. Yep. Oh, there is a floor lost in here.
Wow, how useful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can't we just
people
make
just
one?
talk about the remaining. Like, come on, man. I don't want that.
Wait a moment. Just for us to be on the same page. So why does the remainder like of -1 and 4 is -1?
well, because this is not the proper Euclidean remainder, which only returns natural numbers. This is the remainder of the. I'm guessing Erlang uses truncated division because pretty much everything built on C uses that. So yeah, this is the remainder of truncated division, which can be negative for some reason.
But that's very silly, no?
It is. That's why I said I wish more languages had proper Euclidean division.
Well, but can't we just do
It does
like
say that very often. Just saying.
can't we just make one using div or whatever?
We could actually we can use rem. It's just this is kind of annoying. Basically, if the left argument is negative,
Isn't it just
um,
4 minus the absolute or whatever?
that doesn't quite work because it needs to loop around if you go to like -5.
Hmm.
Ah, fuck me. That's true. But you guys know what a chat developer would do, right? They would just do this. 4, 3 true, 4, 3. This is what they would do, right?
1 4 2 1. Why?
Because this is a map that is telling you the previous.
Mm, that tells you the previous. I mean, I guess you can do that.
Like this is just like a surrender to the math. Fuck it. I'd rather use a data structure for it. What are we gonna do?
I guess we can use a map in the
Awesome.
absence of proper mathematics.
Okay, so let's change it. So this is now just a lookup, right? So this is map mref this player number, right?
Yeah, that's kind of sad, but you just
Wait,
do
wait, wait,
what
wait.
you gotta do.
Isn't it
Yes.
always just the remaining plus one? Because
Also,
Uh,
wait,
that's oh no, that's right actually.
Wait, Mageta asked the question. So he mentioned that it
like
is
if you,
always this plus one.
like for example, say a number like 10 and 5, right? So modulo is 1, right?
10
So
and 5. No, it would be 0 actually.
Yeah.
the modulo, let me pick the calculator.
What a chat.
what would the calculator say? I am
0.
confused. Because yes, the
Yeah.
remaining is services. Where do I change the option? I think it should be
Wait,
0, but I
previous
think
play
it's
is
not
returning
really.
0. Did I
Then
save? Am
how do I use
I?
mod on a calculator? Uh, man, there's no option for it. Like, come on,
Ref.
mod.
Oh, it's the map and then the key. What the fuck? What? Marinho, am I dreaming? What the fuck is going on in here?
Give me a sec.
mref.
Look,
Blah
0.
blah blah. Did you restart the repo?
Yes. What in the freak? Oh, now it works. Ah. Oh, it is being recorded. I just did that and didn't work. Okay, fuck it. So now we can play our thingy. Man, that was just hilarious. What is the mod of 10 and 5?
0.
Yeah, no, I know that, but uh, okay, something's wrong. Okay, this is progress. We have a head failing now. Available actions, extractive self. Uh, sorry, there is some indexing going on in here.
Magetta, quick question. Integer division. How much is minus 1 divided by 2?
Minus 1 divided by minus 2?
No, no. Minus 1 divided by positive 2.
Oh, positive. Uh-huh. Oh, Magetta left. I don't know if he'll be back. We have a list of lists in which this is empty. And available actions is failing, so let's figure that one out. So available actions. Why are you mad? Why are you mad? Ah, of course. This is the problem. What if you don't have anything in the discard pile?
What if you don't have anything in the discard pile? Then you cannot possibly have a Chii because
Mm-hmm.
well, this would only happen if you're the first player during the first round.
Yeah, which is the case. So let's do the following. This is very annoying,
Well, if that
actually.
yeah, if that discard pile of the fourth player is empty and you're the first player because the game just started, then you cannot possibly do a Chii.
This is surprisingly annoying, actually. My closure instinct is telling me to use some thread first or some thread last. But the
Your closure instinct would not be quite right because yes, that would short circuit, but you need to do. Well, in this case, you would have to convert it to a list, right? Because no, which is not common in Erlang, but some people do use it, is just an atom, which is not a list, obviously.
yeah, no, minor details. But I think that's very inconvenient in this case. Like we would have to flip this around, right? We would have to put the actions Chii options at the bottom, and then do these first, because this is the one that may fail. And there's another problem with that. Failing in here doesn't new. It blows up with an exception.
Because you're trying to get the car of an empty list.
Yeah, but there's a solution to that because we can use our MREF.
I'm back. Man, I don't know if we can do the way I was thinking because
Magetta, quick question. Integer division, how much is minus 1 divided by positive 2?
-1 divided by positive true
Yes.
in integer like Euclidean division.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm. Pretty sure you're trying to let me think. So you would have So you would have A and so the theorem, if I remember, it's like A and B different than zero, and then there should exist a unique. So it's two unique integers Q and R, right? That
Yes.
are that A is equals to B Q plus R, where R is between the absolute and zero, right?
Yes.
In that case, so if we apply, that would be minus one, right? Minus one and positive two, you said.
Yes.
So it would be minus one equals to two with some R that is positive between the absolute two and zero, and Q multiplied by two. So Q would have to be minus one, and R would have to be one, right?
That is correct.
Okay, so I don't get. Are you trying to are you trying to get some? Man, this is a pegadinha, isn't it, Marinho? I'm pretty sure it is, man.
A trick.
Most C programmers would get that wrong because C doesn't do Euclidean
Oh
division.
yes, yes, it would be zero,
Wait,
right? They just
I
truncate
was
to.
too busy programming. What is the answer?
Uh,
It's -1 Lemos.
yes, like on the Euclidean theorem, you're trying to find the interval that has a unique value that you can multiply uh,
The
with some
divisor.
number.
Uh-huh.
Yes, but if you just truncate, which is what like C does, then you get like 0.5, and well, you truncate it, then it becomes zero, right?
Yeah.
And then even if it's negative, it's gonna be negative 0.5,
Yeah.
5,
Uh-huh.
negative 0, 0,
So
right?
the answer is -1, you said.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, this is actually the same answer you would get if you tried to do the division by doing bit shifting.
Yeah, that's very funny.
It's also very useful for optimization.
Okay,
Or it
It's
would
just
be
not a.
some if more languages use the Euclidean division, but they don't.
Ay, ay.
illegal pattern. Am I MRF safe? Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. So then you do that, and if you encounter this, oh, I guess
Those
this.
are not tuples, by the way.
Ah, that's true. That's what I'm forgetting. Too tired already. Tuple. Nice. Let's go. Eh, eh. Okay, 2, 3, 4. Everybody's ready. Start. Something broke. It's the same problem. Available actions. Line 35. Somebody's trying to do a head on on an empty list again. And I don't know why. Now, which one is trying to do that? Which one?
Oh, you're getting the discard pile, but you're not actually trying to get the first element of the discard pile.
I am.
But you're doing that outside of the MRF safe, is the point.
I
And
don't
I don't think
understand.
MRF safe will help there because the discard pile is not a map.
Uh, what? No. MRF safe is being used here because this is a map. This is the player, right? We grab the state.
Yeah, but that's not what's blowing up. It's the car that's blowing up.
Do you mean this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand what you're saying. This, what is this function doing? State to previous player. Yeah, this is 100% grabbing the previous player, which is a map. Each player is a map, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so this MRF safe is grabbing a map and searching for this key there.
Which will always be there, actually.
Ah, I need a guard. I'm stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. So in that case, we do There was a way to do this, right? I keep
You
forgetting.
just you just do a when after the pattern,
Okay, so here.
and you need parentheses.
So here. When. Uh, oh man, that's gonna suck. Because then it's a not on list is empty, right? And this can't be this. This needs to be like whatever. Is that right?
This should work, yes.
Legal guard expression. 35.
Legal guard expression.
Okay, so this is not how you
Um,
do that.
tuple when
How are we
not list
doing that in
empty.
here? No, it is how you do that. You do the pattern. You do the pattern. And then you immediately go to the guard, which is what we did. And then we just check that the discard pile is not empty. And then we do the thing.
Mm,
What am I missing? This is true. This is also true. Illegal guard. Are you sure you don't have to put like another parenthesis wrapping these two?
yes, I am.
Because this guard is on the pattern matching of the arguments, right? We're not doing that exactly. We are trying to do it on a case.
I
Yeah,
just found a
there
community
is.
of angry. I just found a community of angry people talking about languages not having Euclidean division.
No, I'm
Ha.
sure. I'm sure they exist.
That's
That's
you're not alone, man.
Discard pile is unbound. That's a new one. Okay, so there's definitely a parenthesis on the case one.
is there.
Yeah, as you can see here. It comes a pattern, then the guard, and then another parenthesis closing it.
But that's closing the parenthesis that comes before the pattern.
Exactly. The pattern is our tuple, right?
The pattern is the tuple.
Then it comes the guard, and then there's a parenthesis wrapping them both.
No, there isn't.
Wait, what? But it's literally here. What am I missing? Marinho?
You have a parenthesis that wraps the clause, and the clause is a pattern, optionally followed by a when, and then you have the body after the pattern, right?
Yeah, exactly. But the clause, which can be the pattern combined with a guard, isn't that what you just
No, no,
said?
no, no, no. The clause is not the pattern combined with the guard. It's the pattern optionally combined with a guard, and then the corresponding expression.
I'm not. I'm still confused. So you're saying that this should be the way? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
This doesn't
yeah.
work. Yeah, that doesn't work. That
Illegal guard
doesn't.
expression.
Mm-hmm. That doesn't work. So case. Let me try to find examples. Examples. Uh, no. There are no examples, really? Man.
what should be something really silly like not doesn't actually exist or something?
Now that would be also very tragic. But I think not does exist.
Okay.
I think.
Uh,
I think. I may be wrong about it. Yeah, man, I don't. Wait, okay, I found one. One example. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so the way that this works is you have a case with your thing, then, yeah, it's a single parenthesis wrapping the entire thing. Wait, there's that. Yeah, and then three pairs. So this pair, and this pair. And then another parenthesis closing all around. Yeah, this is correct. So it can be the knot then. It can be. It can definitely be the knot. So how I'm gonna test that? How am I supposed to test that? Yeah, I'm just gonna search for knot in the guide. Fuck it.
wait, go back for a second to the pattern. Yeah, there's no question mark in that function name, by the way.
This?
Yeah, lists
Okay.
empty because that's the lists empty from Erlang, right?
Yeah. So you think that's the problem? It's still saying illegal guard expression. And not.
Hmm.
Closure there. And I need to put. Wait a moment though. Okay, if I remove the guard completely, I can run the repo, right? Yeah. Is there a knot? Yeah.
There is.
Okay. So there it is not that for sure. And there is lists empty. Lists empty. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there isn't. Okay. So, oh, it's probably is empty. No. Okay, back to this. It's gonna be a stupid name. Enumerate that. That's not it. Are we gonna have to go all the way to length and just compare to 0 ourselves?
No. You can just use equality, no?
Equality on what?
Like, go back to the pattern, real quick.
Yeah.
Like, you're trying to forbid the discard file from being empty, right?
Yeah.
Can't you just add another clause, which is like a tuple with OK and an empty list, and make that return an empty list?
Well, that is definitely an option. Why not? So like we're suggesting to just say, oops, tuple, okay, this.
Um, and if you want to avoid having the duplicate empty case, there's actually something else you can do. You can do something like this. Uh, Lisp What do we have? Tuple. Okay. And then we do equals discard file. And we do cons, and we don't care about what's in it. And then we do dot 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 because I'm not writing all of that down by hand.
Ah, I see what you did. I see what you did. So you're saying to do this. That's not. Oops. Yeah, something didn't copy paste properly. There we go. So this is what you're saying, and then this can go away.
Yeah.
Cool. Everybody connected. Everybody's ready. Right next here. No, that didn't fix it. That didn't fix it. I'll
Uh,
finish the recording now. This is just debugging from now on anyway.